And when you take a look at the last couple of days, in your mind, what is the most significant thing to come out of this trade?
Well, you know, before I get into that, first thing I'd like to do is thank Kristaps, Tim, Courtney, and Trey for everything they did for the Knicks organization. When we went into this trade deadline and we knew we were potentially going to do something, we knew there were three things that had to happen for the franchise if we were going to move Kristaps. We wanted to get a rookie player that was still in his scale contract. We wanted to add additional draft picks to the draft picks we currently have, and then give ourselves financial flexibility that we could become a player in free agency, but just a chance to have the flexibility to move forward.
I want to talk about the timeline of how this went down, because everything happened very quickly on Thursday once you talked to Kristaps and then the trade came together. But really, this is something that you guys had been prepared for. Yes,
we were prepared for it because we started to get a feel that everything wasn't going as well as we would have liked with Kristaps. So Scott and I spent a lot of time saying, okay, well, we need to be prepared if things aren't going well, or he doesn't want to be here, or that we need to be ready. And so probably, as we would normally do as part of the trade process, we would have conversations with teams and ask teams about key players on their team and what would it take from our roster to get those kind of players. So we, at the end of the day, had about 8 potential scenarios that we thought would be great for us if we made the decision that we were going to trade Kristaps.
And in terms of the actual trade deadline being the 7th, how important was it to get something done before that deadline, just in the terms of with Kristaps and the injury, there are still questions that might remain about his future health because he hasn't played yet again?
Yes, we felt that the 7th was really important, because if we let this go beyond the 7th, the leverage completely shifted. We would not have control of the situation. We weren't sure what Kristaps was going to come in and tell us. We didn't know whether he was going to tell us that he wanted to be traded, or he may have come in and said he wanted to do a 1-year contract with a player option, which would have then made him untradeable, and he would have had all of the leverage. So we just felt that we needed to have some certainty by the 7th, and when they came in to meet with us, they made it clear to us. It was a meeting that they requested. They made it clear to us that he did not want to play for the Knicks, that he was not going to re-sign with us as a free agent, and we, in one way, thanked them for the clarity, because it gave us the information we needed to know. And because of the conversations that Scott had been having and that I had been having with other teams, we knew exactly where we wanted to try to move.
And as this organization moves into free agency, what's the difference between in the recruitment process when you go out, you've got 1 max deal to offer, now you've got 2. So when you're talking to players about coming to play in New York, how much of a difference does that make?
It makes a big difference, because players talk to each other. But the most important thing for us is to create an environment and to have people here who want to be here. We don't want to have any players here who don't want to be here. And so that's the most important part of recruiting free agents, is them to feel like things are changing in your organization, that you're building a culture that's about empowering them and winning, and making it something that players want to come and be a part of.
And now, not only do you have the max deals to offer, but at the same time, you've got 7 first-round picks coming up in the next 5 years. What kind of power does that give this team to build, trade, whatever it is that you decide that you want to do that's best for this organization?
Oh, it's great. It's consistent with what we've been planning. When I hired Scott Perry, we laid out a plan that was going to be to build this team organically through the draft, through free agent acquisitions, and develop the players that we have. So we feel like we're a team that can draft well, and to add 2 more draft picks to our portfolio is great for how we want to build this team.
And one quick one before we go, because he's on the floor. I know this team is also very excited about Dennis Smith Jr. What does he bring?
Oh, Dennis brings a dynamic energy to this team. He's a scoring guard who has tons of athleticism. And I got to know Dennis during the draft process, so I spent time with him when we were deciding who to draft. So for us to have the opportunity to have both Dennis and Frank, it's a great thing for the Knicks.
Thanks so much, Steve. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.